websites led by Professor Chetty has shown. But the education system puts black students at a disadvantage at every stage. Reform of K through 12 funding is needed, as they argue, and there is much work to do at the post-secondary level, including further investments in historically black colleges and universities, as well as a concerted policy assault on the for-profit sector, which preys on students of color in particular. College completion rates for black students are much lower than for others, and a greater investment in proven strategies to promote retention, such as the ASAP program, is needed. Listen, this program right here will give you the foundation that you need to be successful in life, no matter what you do. Everybody got their different talents and so forth, but they need to be funded. We need to leave this poverty thing behind because we have enough wealth. We have enough, our combined wealth in the United States of America is more than basically the continent of Africa in their gross national products and production. Lack of money make you do crazy things. So we have lots of opportunity if we just get our house in order. Support black men. We need to hold black men accountable. And our black sisters need to be empathetic, but strong in saying, hey, we need to get it together. Understanding and saying, hey, and being more supportive. Instead of saying, I got mine, you need to get yours. And that's a terrible thing. You know, people who have wealth and so forth, and you're not my responsibility. Even if they have a viable business that you can do business with, they'd rather go do business with somebody else. We need to fix that. It's a disease that our older generation has. Not all of them. But we're not going to get everybody. That's why I said before, we get 1 million super soul sisters and some black men, and then we can build. We can start building. And then before you know it, it's 80 million of us. So we need to work together. And then the whole world's going to start coming our way. To be male, poor, and either African American or Native American is to confront on a daily basis a deeply held racism that exists in every social institution. And they couple African Americans and Native Americans together. We're the same. We were here when they came here, and they split us out by genotypes and divided us. We're the Native Americans, as well. So they messed up our head, and we thinking we don't even know who we are. First of all, we need to know who we are. No other demographic group has fared as badly, so persistently, and for so long to meet this appalling crisis. She calls for nothing less than a new deal for black men. Similarly, Jacova Williams argues on this blog, a black brother needs love too. Well, we need to love each other. If we love ourselves, then it really doesn't matter. They're going to automatically love us. If you don't love yourself, nobody's going to love you. If you don't help yourself, nobody's going to help you. So first of all, we need to love ourselves and love each other. This should include reform of the criminal justice system, action against the systemic exclusion of black boys and men from educational institutions, tailored programs for college students, and much more. There is much work to do for the new and vitally important Commission on Social Status for Black Men and Boys. Listen, we need to help ourselves. This is begging. And we want people to do for us that we won't do for ourselves. And this right here, social, crippling us socially and stuff, thinking that they got to come and help us and feed us in order to do what we need to do when we have the ability to do it ourselves. First thing we can do is clean up our homes. Make sure they're not junky. Clean up the neighborhood. Clean up our streets. Make sure there's no paper there. Feeling good about where we living. Make sure the businesses in there, put together a team. Make sure the businesses are painted and look fresh. These things we can do ourselves. And I have a friend of mine, a girl telling me, hey, ain't nobody gonna give you no money if you look toe up, they're not gonna invest no money in you. So we have to make sure that we look good, at least at the fundamental level. Clean ourselves up, clean our homes up. If you have a clean environment, your brain will work better. And we put education in our home. In the criminal justice system, we stop sending our kids voluntarily to the institution, the criminal institution system. I talked to one young man. He was like, if I was back then, I wouldn't be no slave. I just wouldn't be no slave. I'll run away. I revolt. I do that. I'm like, brother, let me ask you a question. Have you been to jail before? Yeah. I'm like, well, you voluntarily enslaved yourself. So now they're not chasing you down. You walking through the door voluntarily putting chains on yourself. I never thought of it like that. Abolish child poverty. Although the focus of our new paper is on poverty over the long term, and by implication on the need to break the mechanisms through which poverty is passed from one generation to the next, this does not preclude aggressive policy action to raise incomes at the bottom of the distribution here and now. In fact, reducing child poverty today is likely to help those children tomorrow. And that was an argument used to support the expanded child tax credit, which you'll be receiving soon, and for making the expansion permanent. Monthly payments to qualifying families and children, $300 for each child under age 6 and up to $250 per month for those between 6 and 17. And that should have began already. And as we write, a direct cash transfer then can be both a powerful anti-poverty policy and likely to be a pro-mobility policy too. The policy equivalent of a twofer. You know what I'm saying? 2 for 1. But like I said, we talked about that before. Don't use that money to go into debt. That's leverage. That's investment that you can pull yourself up with. If it can help you to get out of debt, in our program, first we go through budgeting. We make sure we get our budget. And that extra money can be helpful. You got children in the home. See? But don't look at, if I have more kids and I have this and that, the kids cost way more than this little money they give you every month. But if you're in a situation right now, you can use that to get up. But don't do funny math, right? Intentional policy needed now. This is some stuff that we need right now. These are things that we can start to do for ourselves. And the Black Lives Movement, it was a great thing and got this thing stirred up again and got it going again. But we need to do our part now. And I have a paper I'm writing right now. What next? After the march, what next? What are we going to do next? We can't keep marching every 50 years and so forth and passing this nonsense on to future generations. The power structure knows what works. When I was growing up, we all had summer jobs. We had enough money to buy clothes for the future. Some parents jack their kids for the money. But for the most part, you able to put some money in your pocket and you learn how to work. You know, the importance of a work ethic. They're not doing that right now. See, part of this stimulus program and so forth should go to summer jobs for the children. Instead of them allowing immigrants to come in so they can get cheap labor. What about our families? What about our children? All right, so that was a juicy one there. So let me keep it moving and stuff. I don't want to take it too long here. But like I said, go to the website, powerthroughunity.org, and get involved, enroll. This is very inexpensive. But this education is more valuable because it's teaching about real life. Because even if you go to school to get a job, you still got to live. You don't want to be broke. And the thing about Harvard and Yale and Stanford and these organizations is that they have an alumni that they can depend on. They work together, they support each other. And that's what this can be made to do. We have to start working together and supporting each other. Then what you know, we can share it with each other. Amen? All right, so this is part 5. Let me work on the part 6 right now. All right, bye.